If you think your home is safe, think again. Because in America right now, over 1.7 million burglaries happen every year, and most of them aren't random. They're calculated, targeted, and they start with you making one stupid mistake. Looters don't kick down doors like in the movies. They watch, they wait, they profile. And if you're doing even one of the 10 mistakes in this video, you're practically inviting them in. This isn't paranoia, it's math. During the 2020 chaos, cities like Chicago, Portland, and Philadelphia saw looting spikes over 300% in just 48 hours. And when the next blackout hits, or a supply chain cracks, you won't have time to Google what to do. You'll either be prepared or you'll be picked clean. Let's break down the rookie mistakes that turn your house into a looter's dream, starting with number 10. And trust me, you're probably doing it right now. 10. Leaving packages on your doorstep. Like it's 2015, let's get one thing straight. If you're still letting Amazon packages pile up on your porch in plain sight, you're not just tempting porch pirates. You're advertising to every passing looter that you don't take security seriously. Think about it. Over 210 million Americans shopped online last year. But what most people don't realize is that this convenience has quietly become a national vulnerability. In the age of TikTok, scouting videos, and AI-enhanced looter maps, even a cheap webcam doorbell isn't stopping anyone anymore. Criminals today aren't working solo. They're working in coordinated crews with Google Earth Street Views, social media scraping tools, and real-time apps that track package delivery routes. And once they see that pile of brown boxes with no sign of movement or pickup, that's a big neon green light that your house is unguarded. Worse, many Americans don't realize that looters aren't just looking for TVs or cash. They want medication, canned food, backup batteries, even pet food, all of which shows up in your delivery labels. Some crews even decode the tracking codes right from your boxes to know what's inside before they even step foot on your lawn. And if that doesn't scare you enough, how about this? 90% of convicted burglars in a recent national survey admitted they targeted homes that showed signs of neglect or rich vulnerability. That includes, yes, uncollected mail, open garage doors, and visible shipping labels. So no, it's not harmless. It's a silent signal to anyone casing your block that you don't check your porch regularly, you're not home, and you're probably not prepared for what's coming. If you're serious about keeping looters away, set a delivery lockbox, work with neighbors to clear each other's stuff ASAP, and never let packages accumulate like it's still safe to do so. Because it's not. Not anymore. 9. Displaying your gear like it's a Pinterest board. It might feel satisfying to hang your solar panels and backup generator and emergency water tanks out where everyone can see them. After all, you worked hard to prepare. But here's the hard truth. Visibility is vulnerability. Every tool, gadget, or generator you leave in plain sight becomes a magnet for desperate people when things go sideways. You might think your gear says responsible homeowner, but to a looter it screams, "This house has everything we need." Especially in states like Texas, Florida, and California, where the threat of hurricanes, blackouts, and civil unrest is now seasonal business. Having a big, shiny generator is the equivalent of driving a sports car through a riot. You're not showing off your preparedness. You're drawing a target on your house. And guess what? There's an underground market on social media that tracks exactly this. Google Street View images, drone flyovers, and even contractor photos are being compiled into private Telegram groups and shared across states. Don't believe it? In 2023, a leaked document from a Portland PD raid revealed over 2,300 home profiles created from public photos alone, most flagged for visible prepper assets. This isn't paranoia. It's open-source targeting. That shiny gear on your lawn or those fuel tanks behind your garage are basically leaving breadcrumbs for the wolves. The smarter move? Conceal, disguise, and decoy. Put your tanks behind fences, blend your generator with landscaping, or install a fake broken sticker. And for the love of security, don't post your latest bunker upgrade on Instagram. Unless, of course, you're inviting trouble in with open arms. 8. Assuming your neighborhood is too nice to loot. You'd be amazed how many Americans still cling to the fantasy that looters only hit bad parts of town. That idea needs to be buried, now. Because in every recent large-scale breakdown from Hurricane Katrina to the 2020 riots, the looters didn't just target strip malls and run-down apartments. They went straight for the high-value residential zones, the suburbs with shiny SUVs, wide lawns, and the false security of homeowners associations. Why? Because those areas are stocked. They have medicine, clean food, tools, baby formula, power backups, all the things that become currency the second society skips a beat, and looters know it. In fact, during the 2021 Texas power crisis, law enforcement reported a marked surge in burglaries and looting in upper-middle-class zip codes, not inner cities. Why? Because desperate people are logical. They're not going to risk robbing a 500-square-foot apartment that barely has running water. They'll go for the house with the Ring camera, the protected by ADT sign, and, ironically, the family that thinks all those things are enough. Spoiler alert, they're not. Nice neighborhoods are soft targets. They rely too heavily on response times, which collapse when infrastructure fails. They assume everyone's neighborly, even though 1 in 5 Americans no longer knows their next-door neighbor's name. Worst of all, many homeowners have zero actual readiness beyond a few frozen pizzas and a dusty flashlight. That's not a defense. That's a buffet. So if you're in a zip code that brags about safety, don't get cocky. In a crisis, your nice neighborhood might just be the looter's favorite buffet stop. 7. Posting your vacation like it's a survival ad. Nothing, and I mean nothing, invites a break-in faster than publicly announcing I'm not home, and Americans are doing it every single day on Facebook, on Instagram, in real time. Off to Maui for 7 days. Road tripping to Yellowstone. Can't wait to unplug. Congratulations, you've just made it a countdown clock for any criminal who's been casing your house or your neighborhood. Most people have no idea that 74% of burglars use social media to find vulnerable homes, especially when large-scale events or travel seasons roll around. They don't even need to know you personally. Reverse image searches, tagged locations, and mutual friend networks make it pathetically easy to connect your feed to your address. And now, with AI image analysis tools becoming more accessible, looters can scan your photos for clues like house numbers, license plates, neighborhood landmarks, even your dog's collar. You thought you were just showing off a margarita on the beach. What you actually did was open the door, smile, and say, "Take your time." But it gets worse. Even when people do use caution, their family members or friends often don't. Your teenage son tags your house. Your cousin checks in with your last name and hometown. Your neighborhood Facebook group posts about missing you on the block. It's a full-blown breadcrumb trail, and looters love it. So here's your fix. Go dark. Post your vacation after you're back. Turn off location tagging, and please tell your kids that oversharing online is the new leaving the back door open, because that's exactly what it is. 6. Trusting one lock, like it's Fort Knox. Here's a cold truth most Americans don't want to hear. Your front door lock, yes, the one you bought at Lowe's for $59.99, is practically useless against a determined intruder. In fact, most home invasions in the U.S. don't happen through dramatic break-ins. They happen through simple bypasses. We're talking bump keys, kick-ins, or lock-picking tools that cost less than a Starbucks run. According to the FBI, nearly 34% of burglars enter right through the front door, and over half of those gain entry in under 60 seconds. That's not a security system. That's an open invitation. Even worse, smart locks, which many homeowners now see as next-gen protection, are being hacked more easily than ever before. In 2024 alone, over 11 million smart home devices were compromised due to weak encryption, factory default credentials, or simple Bluetooth spoofing. The looters aren't kicking down your door, they're logging in. And if you think your camera is a deterrent, think again. In multiple cities last year, surveillance footage captured looters casually disabling or ripping out cameras before they even entered the house. Your protections needs to go deeper. Reinforced deadbolts, door armor kits, secondary interior locks, and above all, behavioral discipline. Stop leaving the door unlocked just because it's a safe neighborhood. That's fantasy. This is America. And in America today, one lock is a joke. It's time to layer up, because the people coming aren't trying to knock. They're trying to own. 5. Stockpiling like a hoarder, and then telling everyone about it. Too many people think prepping means collecting, but they never think about concealment. And that mistake, that's what turns you from a survivor into a target. You might have 6 months of food, water filtration, solar panels, fuel reserves, and backup meds, But if your neighbor, your cousin, your coworker, and your close friend from church know about it, you've just become the local supply depot the second things go wrong. In every real-world crisis, from Hurricane Sandy to the 2020 lockdowns, there were stories of people being overwhelmed, even robbed, by those they trusted before society truly collapsed. And now in 2025, with inflation spiking, crime in dozens of U.S. cities hitting 20-year highs, and the average American unable to cover a $500 emergency, desperation is closer than ever. The guy who jokes about your stockpile today might be the guy kicking in your garage door tomorrow. What most Americans don't realize is that information is more valuable than ammo. If you leak the size of your supplies, online, in casual conversation, even in prepping groups, you've already lost the strategic edge. Because the hungry don't forget. They make lists, they talk, and when trucks stop rolling and shelves go empty, they'll come knocking. Or worse, silence is your ally. Secrecy is your security. Stockpiling is smart, but advertising it is suicide. 4. Relying on the police like it's still 1999. Most Americans still believe that if something goes wrong, you call 911, and help shows up within minutes. But that illusion shattered years ago, and if you haven't updated your thinking, you're already behind. Let's get real. In dozens of U.S. cities, police response times have more than doubled in the last 5 years. In places like New Orleans, Portland, and San Francisco, the average wait for non-life-threatening calls is over an hour, and in extreme cases they don't come at all. And guess what? In a true crisis, like a blackout, a flood, or civil unrest, police resources are immediately overwhelmed. Just ask the people of Minneapolis during the 2020 riots, or Chicago during the 2023 looting waves. Entire zones were abandoned. Calls went unanswered. Citizens were left to fend for themselves. But here's the shocking part. Even before a disaster, most police departments are operating with 20% to 30% fewer officers than they're budgeted for. Morale is low, retention is worse, and criminals know it, which means looters no longer fear a badge. They calculate around it. They know the system is stretched, slow, and increasingly unwilling to engage. So if your whole security plan is call the cops, you're gambling with your life. You need layers, real ones, self-reliance, defensive tools, community coordination, because when things fall apart, the police aren't your first line of defense. They're the cleanup crew. And by the time they get there, if they get there, your home might already be stripped bare. 3. Leaving your garage door weak and wide open. Here's what most Americans don't realize. The garage is the single weakest structural point of almost every home in the country. And yet people treat it like a second living room. They leave it half open, just for air. They install cheap keypads with default codes. They forget to lock the interior door to the house. That's like handing looters a golden ticket. Nationwide burglary statistics show that 1 in 4 break-ins happen through the garage, and it's not hard to see why. Most garage doors can be forced open in under 6 seconds with a simple coat hanger if you know the trick. YouTube is full of how-to videos, millions of views, easy step-by-steps, no special tools required. And once they're inside, they've got tools, cover from view, and usually access to the house through a flimsy interior door that's barely better than plywood. But it gets worse. Many American garages are full of survival gear. Generators, canned food, bottled water, propane tanks, power tools, everything a looter wants. And you've probably got it all organized on racks labeled with care. That's not just convenience, that's a shopping list. The smart move? Reinforce your garage like it's the front gate to a fortress. Get a solid interior steel door. Disable emergency release mechanisms. Lock the track. Install blackout curtains. And above all, stop leaving it open. Because your garage is either your greatest liability or your best hidden bunker. You choose. 2. Ignoring your windows. Like they're just for sunshine. Everyone pays attention to doors, but almost nobody invests in window defense. And that's a catastrophic oversight. Windows are more than pretty frames for natural light. In a crisis, they're entry points. Thin glass, weak latches, no reinforcement. And worst of all, zero visibility protection. Looters love windows because they can scout the inside of your house before they ever break in. They can see your layout, your supplies, your flat-screen TV glowing in the night. and you've basically rolled out the red carpet with your open blinds and paper-thin drapes. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, over 23% of home break-ins happen through windows, and almost all of them are on the first floor. In places like Florida and Southern California, where windows are huge and often sliding, the rate is even higher. But here's the kicker. Even double-paned storm windows mean nothing without real reinforcement. Most burglars carry punch tools or glass-cutting drills, and if they know you're gone, they'll take their time. What you need is layering, shatter-resistant film, reinforced locks, window bars where possible, and blackout curtains that don't scream prepper. And don't forget sensors. Inside, not just outside. The average homeowner spends $500 on window treatments for aesthetics and $0 on actual window security. That's a rookie mistake. Fix it now, or face the sound of shattering glass when it's too late. 1. Underestimating how fast chaos spreads. Most Americans think disaster comes with a warning, a siren, a news alert, some sort of heads up. But the truth: collapse happens fast. In the age of social media, a single video can turn into a citywide riot in hours. A bank glitch can empty ATMs in minutes. A power grid failure in one region can send looters scrambling to the next before the lights even flicker. We saw it in 2021 when the Colonial Pipeline hack sparked a gas panic so severe that people were fighting at pumps within 24 hours. No storm, no war, just a rumor. And chaos bloomed like wildfire. And in that chaos, looters move faster than anyone else. They're watching trends. They've got group chats for coordination. And they know that the first 12 hours of confusion are a free-for-all before law enforcement catches up. If you think you'll have time to go get supplies or check on the neighborhood or barricade the door, you won't. You have to be prepped before the first tweet drops, because by the time the news reports it, the trucks are empty, the streets are hot, and the wolves are already casing your block. The biggest rookie mistake of all is assuming you'll have time to react. You won't. The game is won by those who are already ready. Let me be blunt. When the system buckles, and it will, you won't get a second chance to fix these mistakes, because looters don't come back later. They come once, fast, ruthless, and if your house looks even slightly unprepared, it becomes a menu, not a home. This isn't just about crime. It's about what happens when the lights go out, the sirens go quiet, and the wolves realize no one's coming to stop them. America is sitting on a razor's edge right now. Over 60% of households have no emergency plan. 1 in 3 families couldn't last 72 hours without a grocery store, and the average home can be breached in less than 90 seconds. Let that sink in. Every single mistake we just exposed is the kind of thing people only learn about after they've been robbed, stripped, or worse. Don't be that story. Fix the locks, black out the windows, keep your mouth shut, and prepare like no one's coming to save you, because when the chaos starts, they won't be.